So the Book of Boba Fett is a Star Wars series, live action Star Wars series that just finished airing, and we haven't had that many live action series from Star Wars, but The Mandalorian set the bar very high, so there's lots of anticipation for this series. And it didn't go off to a great start, but the first episode kind of boring and lackluster. The second episode was a bit more interesting, introduced some new themes, but just felt a bit long and boring again. And the third episode felt like a step backwards. The fourth episode started the momentum going, and then we hit a whole nother problem. See, the next two episodes are basically just Mandalorian episodes slapped in the middle of a Boba Fett show, which makes no logical sense. Like, they're basically making the Mandalorian a mandatory viewing. If you haven't seen Mandalorian and you want to watch Book of Boba Fett, you've got to see that. And if you want to see more Mandalorian, like season 3, you've got to watch Book of Boba Fett. And the worst thing is that this is a show about Boba Fett, yet episodes 5 and 6, he doesn't even have any lines. He's not even in episode 5. He's only in one scene of episode 6, and he just stands there and nods his head. And he overall didn't really add to the character. We learned more about Boba Fett in the Clone Wars animated series than we did in his own show. This show doesn't do anything apart from add a soft side to him. And when Cad Bane turns up about to save this show, he even mentions Boba Fett's soft. This isn't the Boba Fett from the original trilogy, it's not the Boba Fett from the prequels or the Clone Wars, and it's not really the Boba Fett we saw in Mandalorian. It's a completely different guy. This is a kind-hearted guy who's some sort of Jedi who wants everyone to be happy and wants to keep peace and doesn't want to fight and has no cool action scenes. The first episode that we see Din Djarin in, he has a cool action scene where he kills a bunch of guys. Something that Boba Fett in this show wouldn't do, but Expanded Universe Boba Fett would do, prequel Boba Fett would do, original trilogy Boba Fett would do. They used to say, do you want me to bring him hot or cold? But now, he's just this sort of family-friendly mob boss. It's like the biggest Disney twist on this show. See, this is a fan favourite character. There's obviously high expectations for this series, and they basically just thought, well, we're just going to take it and twist it. We're going to ignore everything that's come before this and make our own thing for our own perspective. Keeps taking his helmet off and doing things that just go against everything we've believed in about Boba Fett. Now, the main problem with this show is the fact that Boba Fett's just not really present, he's just off. He doesn't seem like he's there, he seems distant, sort of tuned out, he doesn't have many lines, his character doesn't develop. We've basically just gone from one spot to the next spot. Nothing's really happened in the event of the series. The only key things in this series is Cad Bane's potential death and there's things relevant to the Mandalorian. There's nothing relevant to Boba Fett's story other than him getting a rancor. That's about it. He doesn't make any progress, he doesn't move forward. The flashback scenes are nice, but they get boring after a while. Episode 4 was good, but it's forgettable. Episode 2 is not friendly for rewatching. Episode 1 was boring, and episode 3 was strange. A lot of people complain about the mod gang, but I don't really mind them, it's just that they're pretty flat as characters. All of the side characters in this show aren't that interesting. Black Chrysanthemum's only interesting because we know him from the comics. If you haven't read the comics or you've never heard of him, then he's not interesting to you, he's just another Wookiee. Fennec Shand's only interesting if you've seen her in Mandalorian and Bad Batch. If you haven't seen those other two shows, then again, she's just another basic side character. That's the problem with this show. Now, they sort of rescue themselves with the Mandalorian episodes, but it's not Boba Fett. But once they chuck in Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane, the show starts to rescue itself, it becomes more interesting. Only for them to kill off Cad Bane halfway through the final episode and leave Cobb Vanth presumed dead. Now, the second half of the final episode is just dull and repetitive, with Boba Fett's rancor going loose in the city, and Boba Fett himself doesn't even get to tame the rancor. Instead, Grogu does. Like, the main character should be fixing the problem, not the side character that you chucked in from Mandalorian. Now, Cad Bane could be alive, but that's a story for a different video, whereas Cobb Vanth, the post-credit scene in this show, the one thing that when I was watching the final episode I was like, this could make me change my perspective. Maybe Omega will turn up. Or maybe Mace Windu will, but no. What could be better than something cool like that? Nothing. Instead we get Corp Vanth in a Bacta chamber. Oh, definitely what we were all wondering about. We were all thinking, is Corp Vanth alive? He was obviously alive. He was shot in the shoulder. It wasn't a headshot, it wasn't a chest shot, it was a shoulder shot. He's clearly going to survive that. To show that he's alive isn't a big reveal. You're not. What are you teasing? It's not like there's a Corp Vanth show coming about Rangers of the New Republic. That show's been practically cancelled. It won't come out for the next 3 years, so why should we care? Everything about this show it kept building itself up only to disappoint. I watched the second episode and I thought, this was so good. Then the third episode steps backwards. The fourth episode makes us get excited about Boba Fett's storyline, only to switch to the Mandalorian storyline. Then the finale is set up so well, just to be ruined by dull, repetitive scenes. It felt like they were trying to stretch it out and make it longer. That is my opinion on the Book of Boba Fett. Tell me yours in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, then leave a like, and also subscribe. We're trying to hit 200 subscribers as soon as possible, and support means a lot to me because I try and make daily videos for you guys, the subscribers. So hopefully I'll see you in the next video.